Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Flash. We are back with episode 218 titled Verse Zoom, which premiered Tuesday, April 19, 2016 on the CW. Guys, quite a bit of information was released in this episode, so let's get right into it. 10-minute clock. Let's begin. Something new we learned in this episode. This episode shows Barry testing out the tachyon particle device that came from the research that he got from Eobard Thong in the past. And it also sees Barry going through a portal and then moments later coming back from his return. So that brief moment is where his trip to Earth 3 happened, where he met Supergirl. So that's episode 118 of the Supergirl show. So that's where it happened in the Flash timeline. So it's good to see that. Even Barry was wondering how long he was gone for, when it seemed like only mere moments for the team. Also, we learn about some theories revolving around Reverb, that is Cisco's Earth 2 doppelganger, and it was that Reverb had the ability to open up breaches between worlds due to manipulations of frequencies and stuff like that. So Cisco tries it, fails a few times, but then he succeeds in opening a breach to Earth 2. Now, before he successfully opened that breach, Caitlin had revealed the name of Zoom's doppelganger on Earth 1, which led to Wells telling the team about the criminal history behind Hunter Zolomon. We also saw flashbacks of an 11-year-old Hunter being forced to witness his father kill Hunter's mom before being sent to an orphanage when no family wanted him. Then he later on committed more than 20 murders before being committed to an asylum. When he was in the asylum and getting electric shock therapy, that is when the particle accelerator exploded, turning him into Zoom. So when it came to the fight between Barry and Zoom, they basically were racing each other. And then until Barry got to the warehouse where they used to train Linda in using Dr. Light's gloves. And through that racetrack course, the team had used Hunter's history to throw Zoom off, showing pictures suddenly of his father, which causes him to stop, and then of his mother, which causes him to stop again, long enough for Barry to use Cisco's boot device to anchor Zoom down and unmask him to show us Jay Garrick's face. Unfortunately, he breaks through after a brief conversation between the two speedsters, and in doing so, Zoom escapes and kidnaps Wally, and who had moved into Joe's place that he shared with Barry. So in exchange to get Wally back, Barry agrees to give his speed to Zoom. We also learned during this wait for Wells to fix the device to steal the speed, Zoom reveals that he had killed a future version of himself in front of the team after some convincing. And we learn that Zoom pretends to be the Flash on Earth 2 to give people hope so that he could rip it away from them soon after. So after getting his speed from Barry and trying to kill Barry afterwards, it seemed with demonic rage, I guess you can call it, Caitlin tries to convince him not to. He slowly does, but instead Zoom kidnaps Caitlin instead. So now the team is rushing to save Caitlin, but now Barry has no speed. So also, other happenings that happened in this episode, Iris had a date with Scott Evans, her editor, but she happened to cancel because she contemplates her dating future, and all signs showing she should be with Barry. In the future, they're supposedly married. On another Earth, they're married. So she's wondering if she's ever going to move on from Eddie. Why should it not be with Barry? So there's that. We also see Dr. Wells having Joe look into finding where his daughter Jessie could be. No leads yet, though, which doesn't surprise Dr. Wells because he knows his daughter is smart enough to evade the police. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode. Since I have not read the comics, it was surprising to see how many parallels between Barry and Zoom. Both their mothers died when they were 11. Their fathers were suspected in that murder, although for Hunter Zolomon's case, his father actually did it. Their speed force and how, the fact that they have the speed force, how they got the speed force. Barry was electrocuted by lightning while the particle accelerator went off, while Hunter Zolomon was experiencing electrocution, shock therapy when it happened while in the asylum. It's very surprising, very scary just how easily Barry could have become Zoom himself. The only difference, I think, was the fact that Barry had a family who took him in after the death of his mother, while Hunter Zolomon was abandoned into an orphanage. Maybe the fact as well that Barry knew that his father didn't kill his mother was another thing that differed between the two, and what allowed him to go on this good path while Zoom went along the crazy train path. So it just blew my mind how much they had in common, and how easy they could have gone down each other's paths in a way. Wasn't expecting it. So top 3 favorite moments of the episode for me. First one has to be Barry defeating Zoom in that warehouse. It was very clever how they used his past against him. It was very cool how Barry had the upper hand against Zoom, and Zoom was actually surprised by this. So I really liked that for sure. Another favorite moment for me has to be Barry telling Cisco that he believes in him and that he's on his side, and how he brought up all the times where Barry learned a new skill and how he always worried about this changing him to the dark side in a sense by using that power, using the new skill for power, and then Cisco always being by his side and supporting him, and how Barry wants to return the favor for Cisco in a sense. So I really like the friendship between the two of them. They really are brothers in a sense, for sure, which I'm really liking. Another favorite moment was Dr. Wells helping Barry once he discovered that there's no way to stop Barry once he sets his mind to something. So Dr. Wells helped in recreating the tachyon device into a smaller version that he can hide behind the new flash insignia on the suit. How we helped change a few other devices in their favor, and just be more open in supplying his knowledge to help the team instead of calculating whether or not this could be used against him or something like that. So I definitely like that Dr. Wells is on board with helping Barry, despite the fact that he doesn't think it's a good idea, especially to open up the breach again and bring Zoom back over. So top 3 peeve moments of the episode. I only have 2. First one is the fact that Barry gave up his speed. It's so sad when it happened. He's just an average Joe now. No pun intended for Joe West at all, but like, he's his normal, non-speedy self, which is it's very sad to see that. And it's very odd seeing Barry so winded after running. It's just like, no. Yeah. So, another peeve moment was the fact that Barry did not mention anything about Earth 3, the Supergirl world. I wanted a mention. I wanted a nod to that trip. I wanted him to bring it up. The fact that it wasn't even mentioned at all to anyone, or even to some confidant of his, it made me upset, because I was expecting it to be brought up, especially after the episode that we had with that crossover. It's just, when is he going to bring it up then? And it's like, when Wells was saying that it's not like you could open the breach yourself between other worlds, and Barry had just crossed into Earth 3 and back, I wanted him to say, well, I just did with another Earth. And it's like, why can't we do it with Earth 2 again? So it's like, I wanted to make a comment like that, because he actually was able to create his own breach, accidentally, mind you, but still, I wanted him to make that comment, and he never did. So there's just so many opportunities. He could have brought up Earth 3. He could have brought up the existence of aliens and Supergirl to Cisco to help brighten his mood when he was all down in the dumps about possibly turning into Reverb. So yeah, I wish Supergirl was mentioned for sure. So moving on, what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The backstory behind Zoom is what we got in this episode, and it didn't disappoint. We definitely learned a lot, and it truly painted the picture of just who they're dealing with under that demonic mask. So very quickly, random questions. First one, if Zoom couldn't come to Earth 1 until Cisco created the breach, then how did he take Wally back and forth to Earth 2 when he kidnapped him? I mean, originally I would have thought that he just took him to the Earth 1 equivalent of his hideout, but the fact that we saw the man in the iron mask again just confirmed the fact that they were back on Earth 2. So I'm just wondering how he was able to jump between the two worlds if he didn't do it so before Cisco had opened the breach. There's a timer, so there's that question. Next question. After being kidnapped, will Wally find out about Barry being the Flash, or is that kind of pointless now that Barry has no speed? I mean, he's definitely going to want to know why he is strongly connected to the Flash after being targeted like that, but we'll see how that goes. Next question is, if Barry has no speed, will he experience his cells degenerating, or was that happening only because of Velocity 6? We were told Jay Garrick, his cells were deteriorating because he had his speed stolen. Later to be corrected that he had taken Velocity 6, which is causing him to have his cells break down. So that's all before we found out that he was Zoom. But does that mean that Barry's going to experience that same thing because he has lost his speed, or was that only happening because he had taken Velocity 6, which Barry hasn't taken at all? So is Barry going to be still a healthy human, or is he going to be experiencing side effects to having the Speed Force and then losing it? That's what I'm worried about. Okay, next question. Why haven't we come across any good metahumans like Barry, aside from Cisco? It seems that all the metahumans we always come across are all these metahumans that want to do bad with the new power they got, or former criminals that are furthering their criminal activity because of the new ability they acquired through the particle accelerator. So it's like, why haven't we met any good metahumans? It's just like, it's about time. So yeah. Last question. Why or how did Zoom's eyes turn black? And then his voice went all demonic-like. It reminded me of a demon from Supernatural. But I'm wondering just how Zoom was able to do that, or just what caused Zoom to do that. He mentioned the darkness within him, and how he said you can't lock up the darkness, you can't hide from the darkness type thing, and then that's when the shift happened. But I'm wondering why it's happening, or what's truly causing it to happen within Hunter Zolomon. So that's kind of creepy, but yeah. So moving on to predictions very quickly, based off the promo for 219, we see Zoom having Caitlin as his prisoner, and we also see Barry dealing with being normal again. And so yeah, based off the synopsis though, apparently Wells gets kidnapped, and Barry finds and asks Jesse for help in finding a kidnapped Wells. And we also are supposed to see Wally confront Joe about the Flash. So, based off of those, I hope Joe does not tell Wally about Barry's former secret. I mean, for me, it has to be something Barry tells Wally, or something Wally stumbles upon accidentally. It definitely can't be Joe spilling Barry's secret, for sure. It just wouldn't seem like Joe to do something like that, when he's always keeping Barry's safety in mind, even though Wally is his son. So I definitely hope it's something that Barry tells Wally, not Joe. And since Barry has no speed now, is it really a point to tell him or anything like that? Who knows? We'll find out. Also, maybe after helping to find her father, Jessie may stay in town again. Plus, I'm still wondering if that concentrated version of Velocity 9 that she was injected with, I'm wondering if she's experiencing any side effects, or maybe some remnants of the Speed Force have appeared within Jessie. So I'm wondering, maybe that's why she stayed away, or maybe that's why she stays in town to fill in the shoes of the Flash until he gets his speed back. Who knows? But I hope we hear more about what's happening with her. And another prediction: Barry has to get his speed back somehow. Don't know how. Don't know if he'll even resort to taking Velocity 9 just to get it back, but then he might get addicted to it like Eliza did. But Barry has to find some way to get his speed back. Maybe it's it takes time for it to regenerate itself in Barry, but he can't just be no speed Barry anymore. It's definitely it's a part of him's taken away from him now, so I really want him to get his speed back, for sure. And that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like about it? What did you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, predictions about what's to come. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want more news about The Flash, check out my Tumblr page for promos, sneak peeks, web clips, synopses, quotes, GIFs, anything like that. Link for those are down below. We have one specifically for this episode, and you got one that leads you to the master list page that has all tags related to The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow, since they're all in the same universe. And I'm a little behind for Tumblr, about like a month worth, so I do apologize about that. But after I get caught up in posting these videos, I'm going to Tumblr, and I'm going to be reblogging like crazy. Probably going to hit a few post limits for sure. I could definitely see it now. But tune in for both if I also happen to reblog for a show you also like as well. So follow me there if you like. And yeah. So that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. We are back. There's no more hiatuses. So we have until episode 23 for The Flash of this season. That's good. 4 or 5 episodes left. So let's see what can happen in those last remaining episodes. But I hope you tune in next week to see what I have to hear what I have to say about the next episode. Thank you for your patience and waiting so long. And until then, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, great week wherever you are. Bye for now.